If you're like me, then your time and especially your money are precious resources that you don't want to waste. So I've put together a list of 8 upcoming indie games from a bunch of different genres that all have free demos you can play right now. Just a quick note that all these demos can be played either on Steam or downloaded on PC. I'm not sure about console releases for any of these. First up is Universe for Sale. I just played through the prologue for this one, and it's only 15 minutes, but in that time, the developers managed to build the foundation for a very, very interesting world. You play as a nameless member of a strange cult. In the demo, you travel to a tea house located on Jupiter in order to meet a character named Lila, who possesses a strange power: the ability to create entire universes with just a few drops of tea. Universe for Sale is a point-and-click game that presents some pretty interesting dialogue, great atmospheric music, and a futuristic dystopian world that I really want to learn more about. According to this comment from the developers on YouTube, it's slated to release sometime this year, so if you're a fan of sci-fi and graphic novels, then don't miss out on this one. I get it, point and click might not be your thing. How about an immersive sim dungeon crawler? Neverlooted Dungeon is full of hidden keys, booby traps, and giant rats, and it's definitely not a game that takes itself too seriously. Now, this isn't a genre I usually talk about here, but this demo absolutely scratched the explore every dark corner itch I sometimes get. I really felt like I was able to discover at my own pace, and dying never sets your progress too far back. This game rewards those who pay attention to the details, like an odd-looking crack in the wall that turns out to be a hidden door. Inspired by classic im-sims like Arx Fatalis, you can choose how you want to play and find the hidden treasure of Neverlooted Dungeon. The game is releasing in Q3 of this year. Sticking with the first-person theme, Lorn's Lore is a parkour game with a haunting atmosphere. You're an android who's been called to this dark and vast structure by a strange glitch, which acts as your guide. Along the way, you discover bits of lore that help you piece together what happened, and of course, you'll do a lot of jumping and climbing. These picks that you get early on in the demo open up a bunch of possibilities when it comes to exploration, as you can freely climb most walls. There aren't any set routes, so it's up to your imagination to figure out how you'll traverse this twisted landscape. One of my favorite things about Lorn's Lore, besides the fact that it's a parkour game, is that there aren't any save points. If you fall off a ledge, you'll just respawn right where you left off. So casual fans and speedrunners alike can look forward to playing the full game later this year. If you typically like your games a bit more colorful, don't worry, I have a few options that might strike your fancy. The first involves flying around a sunny island, collecting ingredients for your up-and-coming brewery, and overthrowing a corrupt pirate organization. The Brew Barons is a unique blend of management, simulation, and flying genres, but it works surprisingly well. Getting the hang of flying can be tricky at first, but you'll be shooting down pirates in no time. There's a lot of customization and experimenting to do, which could be overwhelming to some players, but if it's for you, then boy is the game for you. The Brew Barons will release in Q2 of this year. More into boats than you are planes? This teeny tiny demo for boat game has you cleaning up oil spills for money, which you can then use to upgrade your boat and clean up more oil, and you get the idea. It's a very simple concept, but something that I think could turn out to be very addicting. I'm also a huge sucker for these low-poly pixelated graphics. I don't know what it is about them, but I want more games like this. This is the developer, Lenta, and you can find updates and short devlogs for the game on the YouTube and Twitter pages I've linked in the description. You can try out the demo for this one by signing up for Boat Games newsletter and follow all the game's updates over on Discord. Sticking with our colorful theme, Rose and Locket is a twin-stick shooter that's absolutely full of style. As you search for your daughter's spirit in the sprawling Underwest, there will be plenty of enemies to face off against and some beautiful cinematic set pieces. This one uses some really cool comic book style panels to set the stage for a grand and expansive adventure. Much like the Brew Barons, it took me a few minutes to get used to the movement and combat in this demo, which makes it that much more satisfying. satisfying. Locket combines platforming, shooting, and bullet hell dodging into a very smooth and stylized package, and it's coming out soon. Now, if you're a fan of games like The Stanley Parable and Superliminal, I think you might enjoy the next one. Back Firewall has you befriending the update assistant inside a smartphone. It's one of those games with a quirky narrator, but I think it works really well with this theme. The best word to describe this game is meta, and I think if you're into tech stuff at all, you might get an extra kick out of some of the jokes. Gameplay varies from solving puzzles, finding items, helping out different characters, platforming, and just exploring the inside of this phone, which is much more interesting than you might think. Back Firewall should be coming out this quarter, so keep an eye out. Now, I really debated whether or not I should include this last one because I did what they call a rage quit after about 10 minutes with the demo. But then guess what? I couldn't stop thinking about the level, so I picked it up and tried again. Mage Ball is an extremely unforgiving platformer where you play as the eye of a magician. In order to progress through each level, you have to collect all the knowledge nodes contained within it and make it to the end without dying. This is made much more difficult by all the spikes, floating rocks, and moving platforms. Despite my inability to make it very far, I was totally drawn in by the weird environments and relatively simple premise. Just go try Mage Ball for yourself. It should be releasing in the next few months. And there you have it, 8 free demos for some pretty unique looking games. If this list didn't satisfy you, here's another.